Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new stream. That is right, we are back with yet another stream on this beautiful September 9th, 2023. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day, night, afternoon, midnight, wherever you are in the world. I'm certainly having a great day myself. And today we have an emergency stream. You know, I don't usually, again, I do these type of streams when shit goes down, you know, frickin' Trump gets indicted. I don't usually do these except for extreme circumstances. But what happened in New Mexico yesterday could possibly be the biggest news story in a while. The New Mexico governor issues an order suspending the right to carry firearms in public across Albuquerque. That is right. They just banned you from having the right to carry firearms. AKA the Second Amendment they just threw down the frickin' toilet. Listen, this is a dangerous precedent. I don't give a rat's ass if, the Second Amendment's bad. Listen, this precedent, this governor sets, and we'll get to what she said about the Constitution. If the precedent holds, essentially, they can suspend the Constitution because of public emergencies. Now, before we continue with today's stream, I hope you enjoy these type of streams. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. And also, if you want your question, comment, concern, whatever answered for sure, the best way to send a super chat. That is right. Any support's greatly appreciated, but if you want your question for sure answered, super chats are the best way to get them answered. But of course, if you got questions in chat, I'll try to read through everything in chat. But guys, this is a freaking... Where do we even begin? Where do we even start with this? So let's get into it, because there's a big question mark about what happened, you know, what's the hell's going on. This is a freaking shit show. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham on Friday issued an emergency order suspending the right to carry firearms in public across Albuquerque and the surrounding county for at least 30 days in response to a spat of gun violence. Does that sound familiar? 30 days to stop gun violence. Does that really sound familiar to something? Does that ring up? Just make you think, like, where did we hear this from before? Duster Conifer 2. She's violated the New Mexico Constitution said so herself. Yeah. I mean, they don't even care. They do not give a rat's ass about the Constitution. I mean, this is freaking insane. 30 days to stop gun violence. Okay, but what's going to happen 30 days later? 30 days to stop gun violence. Another 30 days. 30 days to stop gun violence. This is tyrannical. I don't care if this was a Republican. I don't care if this were a Republican saying the people that are gay, they cannot be allowed to survive. If they did that, I would be against it. I don't care if this is a Republican, Democrat, whatever. This is a dangerous precedent to piss on the Constitution like this. This is just a complete and total destruction of the Constitution. They don't care. They're not even hiding anymore. Whoops, clicked the wrong button. If a Republican did this for something about gay marriage, I would be saying the same thing. 30 days to stop the spread. It's the same deal. I would be calling out the exact same. Because it's unconstitutional what she just did. No, there's nothing in the Constitution that says it's suspended because of emergency. And the founders did that for a reason. They don't want asshats like this extending an emergency forever that would grant them unanimous powers. Just, they can do whatever they want. Suspend Sports Network for 2. Thoughts on the NFL playing the Black National Anthem. I don't think it's going to last long. A lot of people are not happy with it. So, but that was actually a really good game. That was, Lions should have not won that, but the Chiefs lost it. So, there's that. But back to this. Can you just imagine for a second if a Republican did this about, like, gay marriage? Or about abortion? Oh my goodness, there'll be riots on the street. But it sets a precedent. I don't care if it gets struck down in court. It has to immediately. Because if this is allowed to stand even for a couple weeks, it sets a precedent where these corrupt officials, they could just keep signing the same order over and over and over again. That is the problem with this. I mean, there's no way to defend it. Even most Democrats are saying, you're freaking nuts. Even some of those anti-gun people that are on Twitter and even in Congress are saying, you can't just suspend the Second Amendment like this. Like, if you're going to try to do it, at least go through the state legislature. But no, you just straight up signed an order that says the Second Amendment has been temporarily suspended for 30 days to calm the violence of gun violence. I mean, that's what the order was. Duster Carter for 2. New Mexico Constitution says local government cannot regulate guns. Yeah. On top of the Second Amendment, even the New Mexico Constitution says you're not allowed to even touch guns. Just again, this is a bad precedent it sets for both sides. Not just the indictments of, now you're worried about, are they going to sign an emergency order that says the First Amendment has been suspended for a month because of hate crimes rising. If you dare violate this law, you will be given 30 years in jail. I mean, is that what we're heading towards? But can you just imagine for a second this happens and gun violence goes up in New Mexico? Watch the rate of gun violence just explode the next 30 days. 50% increase in murders, 20% increase in everything. Watch it happen. Because guess what? People don't got the right to defend themselves with guns. I mean, I don't know what to say. There's nothing I could say that could even fathom how stupid this is. Suspend Sports Network for 5. Did you hear about the court ruling against Biden for big tech censorship? I heard a little bit about it. Apparently, like, a court said that, the government can't collude with big tech. Big tech court case. Right? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Gotta link the suspension of the Second Amendment. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Every freaking 30 days. If the court strikes it down, we've seen a spike in gun violence. We have to institute this ban again. That's what's gonna happen if this doesn't stop now. They're just gonna keep doing it only for 30 days. But every 30 days, sign a different order. And again, and again, and again. That's the big problem with this. I mean, you could say what you want, and again, we'll get to why this happened. It's a terrible situation, and the thug that killed a kid, an 11-year-old boy, should be given the death penalty. So this is what happened. There was a recent shooting of an 11-year-old boy outside a minor league baseball stadium this week. That's what happened. Instead of prosecuting the son of a bitch that killed an 11-year-old boy, they decided to go after law-abiding citizens. This is why Republicans, despite their incompetence, wins the issue of guns every single time. Because all you gotta say is, why should I, a law-abiding, gun-owning citizen, why should I be restricted my right when the same thug killed an innocent child, but I never did? Duster Carter for 2. I encourage everybody to start open carrying. Yeah, if you're comfortable, just look into it. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but I would say it's your God-given right. You know, just, again, I'm not an expert at guns. I'm not like, you know, Herrera that's running for Congress. I don't know every single thing about guns, but it's like, yeah, you should learn about guns and, you know, your Second Amendment right to defend yourself, or to hunt, or whatever. But this is just freaking nuts. Again, I cannot believe this was real. At first, I thought this was like some satirical article from the Babylon Bee or whatever. But no, this is real. Grisham said state police would be responsible for enforcing what amounts to civil violations. Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina said he won't enforce it. And Bonillo County Sheriff John Allen said he's uneasy about it because it raises too many questions about constitutional rights. Yeah, even the sheriffs are saying, we're not going to enforce this. How do you even enforce it? Because what the wording is, it's like you can't have it in public. But this opens a can of worms of, okay, but what does that extend to? The firearms suspension, classified as an emergency public health order. Yeah, this is a public health order. That's how they're getting away with it, because, oh, this is a crisis against, you know, public health. Applies to open and concealed carry in most public places, from city sidewalks to urban recreational parks. The restriction is tied to a threshold for violent crime rates, currently only met by the Metropolitan Albuquerque. Police and licensed security guards are exempt from the temporary ban. Violators could face civil penalties and a fine of up to $5,000, gubernatorial spokesperson Caroline Sweeney said. Under the order, residents could still transport guns to some private locations, such as gun range or gun stores, provided the firearm has a trigger lock or some container or mechanism making it impossible to discharge. This is freaking nuts! So they're saying you can even transport in some private areas, but you have to do 500 things to even do that. This is what they're doing. This isn't just, you know, oh, you can't have a gun in, like, say, City Hall. This is, you can't even transport out your house without having 500 locks on it. And of course there's New Mexico. It just, what am I supposed to say to this? What? Any ideas on who will take the governor's spot when DeSantis is up? Probably Donald's. But either way, it's like this. Have we ever seen anything like this? Chat. Somebody look it up. Has there ever been somebody that's declared an order like this for guns? Yeah, get Saul Goodman. But I don't think this has even ever happened. I mean, what am I supposed to say? There's no precedent for this. You can't just write a public order that's going to defend the public health from an emergency. That's not how it works. That's not the Constitution. In my opinion, if this happened with a Republican president in office, this is when I would say weaponize the DOJ and arrest her for treason. Yeah, this is what you would call treason or violating the Constitution. This is the definition of it. Taking away Not just, in some areas. Essentially saying you can't have a gun anywhere. We need a New Mexico. But it just, but yeah, chat, can somebody look this up? Because I don't know. Because I just can't think of a time where a governor did this. I mean, there's been, like, gun bans in the past, but not even to that extent. At least in most areas, like, you could still pretty much carry a gun anywhere, kind of, but here it's like, where? Yeah, it just, you read the order, it's like, based on the wording, they can theoretically do anything. Like, you have a gun outside your house in an accident, it's like, oh, that gun's ours now, goodbye. I'm not aware of anything like this ever happening. I'm not either. Especially a public health order. She can't do this. Well, she just did. And where's the GOP at? Where? You have the state legislators at least saying something, saying, we're going to start an impeachment inquiry, but that's not going to go anywhere. Where's the national Republicans? Where? Sitting on their freaking ass, writing another strongly worded letter. This is a very disappointing day for our country. We need to look into an investigation. It's the GOP. They never do anything. Rye Guy 1218 for 5. You think this gun grabbing scheme means that New Mexico is gone for the GOP? I mean, maybe this riles up some voters and say no. That's bullshit, but I don't know. They're trying to make their move now when they have control of the state. That's my guess. But yeah, New Mexico is still going to be like fairly Democrat, but this may rile up some voters against the Democrat Party in New Mexico. Possibly help us in New Mexico second. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of here. Because this happens everywhere. Even some of the most Democrat states in the country reject gun control. I mean, even Maine, they rejected a basic, background check. I mean, that's why the GOP wins the issue, because most Americans are like, no, it's reading the Second Amendment. We need to restart Los Alamos testing a screw New Mexico after this. New Mexico moment. Yeah, I mean, just like, this is the first time I think we're like talk about New Mexico in detail. I mean, outside of Mark Ronchetti, that's about the only time we ever talked about the state. I mean, this is awful. Let's read the rest of this. Grisham acknowledged not all law enforcement officials were on board with their decision. Yeah, I wonder why. I welcome the debate and fight about how to make New Mexicans safer. Then go through the state legislator. If you're so worried about it, it's like, go talk to the Republicans and try to make a deal on something. What? Why force it through a public health emergency? She said at a news conference, flanked by law enforcement officials, including the district attorney for the Albuquerque area. John Allen said in a statement late Friday that he has reservations about the order, but he is ready to cooperate to tackle gun violence. While I understand and appreciate the urgency, the temporary ban challenges the foundation of our Constitution, which I swore to uphold. Allen said, I am worried of placing my deputies in positions that could lead to civil liability conflicts, as well as the potential risk posed by prohibiting law-abiding citizens from their constitutional right to self-defense. Yeah. What am I supposed to say? Because this is what how much you want to bet frickin' California's gonna do the same thing than Illinois? They're gonna write the exact same order. How much you want to bet when another shooting happens in Chicago, instead of blaming the loser that did it, they blame law-abiding citizens and signs a public health emergency for 30 days. That's what's going to happen. And the GOP is so freaking useless. They're not even saying a word about it. Nothing. Enforcing the governor's order could also put Albuquerque police in a difficult position with the U.S. Department of Justice regarding a police reform settlement, said police spokesperson Gilbert Gallegos. All of those are unsettled questions. But yeah, you look at these shootings, like they're all awful. 11-year-old boy, 5-year-old, a 5-year-old, a couple other kids. It's like, this is terrible. But guess what? Whose fault is this? The average gun-owning Joe? Or the criminal that got the gun? Through illegal means? Wait, whose fault is it? This is what I'm saying, folks. It's a person problem. You have these lunatics getting access to guns, not even through legal means, just illegally. But you think they get these guns legally, most of these people? They don't. They get them, and they cause a shooting. And instead of focusing on, A, making sure these thugs don't get guns and throw them in jail, because a lot of them are repeat offenders, but number 2, focus on mental health. Focus on, hey, making sure families can actually defend themselves. Making sure these criminals even consider, before they even consider trying to do this. They just think to themselves, I'm probably going to get shot, so I'm not going to do it. Where's that philosophy? Man Milk for 2. Did you know that it's Ford's fault my mom crashed? What? I didn't know that. That's actually something I never heard. Yeah, I guarantee you most thugs in Portland do not buy their guns legally. Yeah, they don't. I guarantee it. They don't get them legally. Give me a break. Most of them are stolen guns. Most of them were bought illegally. Obtained illegally at least. Yeah, America does have a gun problem. It has a mental health problem. Exactly. And we're going to really see. If crime skyrockets by 50% the next 30 days in Albuquerque, what am I supposed to say? It's a joke in how they blamed guns. Oh, okay. I was like, what? It just... Again, these shootings are awful. But it's not because, the average Joe has a gun. That's not what's causing this. It's mentally ill people that are repeat offenders. Getting the gun illegally, doesn't matter if they got it or not how they got it it illegally. And then doing it. Instead of making sure these thugs either get help or locked in jail for a while. We just let them back on the streets and pretend everything's fine. Duster Carter for 2. If Kemp in Georgia / Abbott in Texas say progressive can't vote. Yeah, just do that. There is a mental health crisis in the state of Texas where Joe Biden voters are diagnosed with a mental illness and do not have the right to vote. Do something like that in Texas, and suddenly you'll see the Democrats say, you can't suspend the Constitution, after they did this. It's about control, exactly. We are freaking lucky that America has some of the best gun laws in the world. The fact that you can actually have a guaranteed right to own and bear arms. Who should probably mention Kentucky in 2026? Don't know, but it's probably be Thomas Massie running. New Mexico's meth land. Yeah, that's where Breaking Bad is. I can just imagine right now with, Saul Goodman and, Jesse Pinkman. And Walter White. Just imagine that for a second. We need immediate death penalty for murderers. Yeah. There needs to be. You kill somebody, and there's demonstrable proof that's irrefutable. You get the death penalty. Same thing for drug dealers. Same thing for all these clowns. If you killed a person, let alone a bunch of people, through drugs, murder, whatever, you should get the death penalty. My guy, 1218 for 2. New Mexico is meth land. Yeah. Breaking Bad. But you see what I'm saying, folks? You cannot have these people running around committing repeat offenses like this, because it causes our crime crisis. Look what's happening in San Francisco. You have 50 people pull up in a white van. They just walk right into the store. You know, they're not even hiding their faces. They're just at iPhones or an Apple store taking 50 iPhones, 30 app or Macs, taking them all and leaving. Just walking out. There's no fear in these clowns. You gotta institute real law and order. Let's see here. All murder should be executed easy. Yeah. If there's irrefutable proof, yeah. Now, if there's like questionable evidence, like there's a serious question mark about something, that's one thing. But if there's irrefutable proof of you killing like 2 or 3 people, it's like, no. No. I think every gun who commits a crime should hold on, what? Portland is either San Fran North or Seattle South. And Portland gets the worst of both worlds, yeah. I mean, what they've done to Seattle and Portland is a freaking disgrace. What Democrats have done to those cities. 10 years ago. No, even 5. 5 years ago. Those are some of the nicest cities in the United States. And look at them now. 10 years ago, they were perfect. Look, you can't make this up. They have completely destroyed basically every city with these garbage policies, and they just keep repeating them. And they think at this time it'll work. How did Mark Ronchetti lose against this nut job? Don't know. You know, it just stinks. It really does suck that Ronchetti lost. Dems complain about prison overcrowding, but they have people with life sentences who should be executed. Yeah, they care so much about the amount of people in prison, but it's like, let's be real. A large chunk of those people should get the death penalty. Murderers, rapists, a lot of them. Drug dealers. It just, you know, like at some point, what are we going to do? What can we do in the GOP? They do nothing. They just sit on their frickin' ass every single day and write strongly worded letters. It's just, man. It's just scary that we're even considering this. Yeah, and you read here, a top-ranked Republican in the state Senate, he denounced it, but it's like, okay, do something about it. I know you're in the minority, but just do something instead of a strongly worded letter. Make exceptions for self-defense. Well, yeah, it's a little bit different. I mean, that's not, you don't murder somebody. You're just, if you're using self-defense, well. Go El Salvador more. Yeah. Go look what they did in El Salvador. One of the worst crime rates in the world, now one of the best. Because, hey, you commit a crime, you're not getting let out on the streets. You're going 15 years in jail. Frickin', no, you killed somebody, you're dead. I mean, that's what they did, and they solved the crime crisis. It's not that complicated. I don't get why Democrats are thinking, oh my gosh, you can't kill a mass murderer. That's murder. It's like, you freaking kidding me? The death penalty, especially for mass murderers, drug dealers that killed a bunch of people, is 100% legitimate and fair in my opinion. Yeah, if you live in a super Democrat city like Albuquerque, get out. Just leave. You know, I know I don't like saying retreat, but at some point you gotta get out. Some of these cities are just long. You're not gonna win it back. Realistically, you're not. Sucks, but it's true. Let's see here. Kentucky red because Beshear got exposed as a liar in the trans issue. And his anti-voucher. Oh, and the recent polls are garbage, Dem shield polls. I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't know how the Kentucky race is looking. I don't. I think Cameron's going to lose, but I don't really know. Let's see. Go to Arizona. Yeah, if you live in, say, New Mexico, especially Albuquerque, just get out. Please, just, you gotta get out and move to, like, Arizona or Nevada. There's swing states, and really, why? What's the perk of living in Albuquerque? I'm just being honest. What? How about New York City? Well, that one, yeah. I mean, you know, New York City's a different animal. Would Vivek be in Trump's cabinet? I think he will be. He's gonna be like an advisor or something. That's my honest opinion. I think that Vivek, Doug Burgum, and a couple others, they're probably gonna be in Trump's cabinet if he wins. Breaking bad memes. Yeah. Duster Connor for 2. What about Virginia? Our trifecta, hopefully. So we're looking actually pretty good in Virginia right now. Apparently fundraising numbers are looking excellent. We're outspending Democrats a lot of areas. That's a good sign. That's a good sign we're actually outspending for once. But, yeah. Vivek will be Secretary of State. I mean, I don't know if that's the... Tulsi Gabbard, I think, would be better for Secretary of State. If I'm being honest. Just my opinion. I think Tulsi Gabbard would be better Secretary of State. But who knows? It's probably going to be like Grinnell, but... just anybody but a Warhawk. That's all I care about. Youngkin for Emperor. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. He is cooking something in Virginia right now. Let's see here. If you're from a blue state, come to Pennsylvania. Yeah, if you live in a blue state that's like California, you know, Oregon, that type of stuff, you gotta leave. You move to like Nevada or something. Wisconsin, Arizona. Because you're not going to win those states for a long time. If you ever do again. We need West Virginia, Montana to win Senate in 2024. Well, yeah. We're probably going to win West Virginia, easily. And we're looking pretty good in Montana. If we're, Virginia and Colorado will be swing states in 2024. I disagree. I think Virginia may be closer next year, but that's about it. Colorado's would keep shifting left, I think. Emperor Zeldin and, hold on. What does that say? Emperor Zeldin and Darth Youngkin will be a thing in 2028. Real. Yeah, we need Youngkin and Zeldin. That's actually a pretty good ticket. I think Zeldin's honestly the best option. I think he's a better campaigner, if I'm being honest. Just my opinion, I think he's a superior candidate because Virginia is far easier than New York to win. We all know that. Not just, you know, because it's more Democrat, but New York, it's a different type of Democrat. Just saying. Yeah, a Youngkin type can win Virginia. I don't know. New York, don't know. Man Milk for 2. Hot take, Virginia will be around a 3% difference in 2024. You mean like a 3-point victory for Biden? I don't know, that's pushing it. If it was 5 or 6, I could see. 3%? Don't know about that one. Do not know about a 3% victory. That seems a bit low. Zelda run for Senate. I don't think he's running. He's focused on trying to keep the house. Zeldin's gonna run for governor. Well, yeah. That's what he's gonna run for. Run for governor again, and hopefully this time it works. Rap, do you think Republicans are scared to stand up for gun rights or anything because they're scared of being called insurrectionists or something? I wouldn't be shocked. Because the GOP, I mean, like, they see their own shadow and they're scared. This is like, do you even want to win? Do you even care about, like, what's your purpose? Why? Why run? Who cares if you're going to write a strongly worded letter? Who cares? Zeldin or Youngkin for VP? I think Zeldin's a better choice. If Hispanics keep trending right, then New Mexico may return to being a swing state. You know, I think New Mexico is going to be closer, like, within 10. But that's about it. I really don't see how it does, you know, turn back to a swing state. Because you got Albuquerque, but who knows? Maybe this backfires and, well, Republicans somehow win it. Don't know about that one, but just got to see. How do you see the New York redistricting going? I have no clue. We just got to see. Hopefully it backfires again. Hopefully, but our luck in redistricting has been awful as of late. And Democrats still keep the Illinois map. Because why not? And the funniest thing of all, you know how they say that Alabama's racially gerrymandered? Look what they did to Nevada Hispanics. Look what they did to Hispanic voters in Nevada. They're like 30% of the population. According to them, they should get one majority-minority district. They got zero majority Hispanic seats in the state of Nevada because they punished them for trending Republican. Again, they would, if black voters voted 80-20 GOP or 90-10 GOP or whatever, suddenly the Democrats would never say a word about the Voting Rights Act, about Section 2. They wouldn't even care. Because guess what? The only reason they LARP about, you know, oh, this is racist, is because they vote for them. If they didn't, they would be saying, we gotta repeal Section 2. It's a racial thing, it's illegal. Duster Carter for 2. What's the impeachment situation in Wisconsin so far? So, it looks like we're getting an investigation, and I don't think Protasiewicz is going to go anywhere, but they're just going to kick it to some Senate committee, so she theoretically cannot rule on any cases. So that could be a positive. Could be a positive. Is there any news about Ken Paxton? Well, their main witness admitted he went to the FBI with no evidence. You heard that right. Their star witness said, I didn't have any evidence, but I still reported him to the FBI. I swear, if the Texas GOP convicts Ken Paxton for being one of the most effective attorney generals in the country, oh man, possibly that video would probably get struck down, if I'm being 100% real with everybody. It may be just 10 minutes straight of me swearing. Same thing with the McConnell stuff. You know, those videos are in the back burner, but man, they are prepared to be made. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. So just don't do it. Don't remove Paxton, please. If you do, you're just cringe. Thoughts on Ahsoka Episode 4? Ooh. I know a lot of people give me shit for this, but that felt like the most Star Wars episode since George Lucas owned Star Wars. Not counting Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. You know, because they're pretty good, but, you know, I really do think that was Star Wars. Ahsoka Episode 4, it was 10 out of 10. I got a little bit of bias because my man showed up, but hey, what am I supposed to say? We need more rant videos. They're probably coming soon, so stay tuned. Do you see Chip Roy support the witness who had no evidence? What? Are you serious? Chip Roy, I don't know about him. Just, he's a very bizarre person. Very based and suddenly very shit. That's the moral of the story. Makes no sense, but it's true. 50% awesome, 50% crap. What's the chance of DeSantis? Hold on. We need more rant videos. What state has a better future for the GOP? Virginia or Georgia? I think Georgia because it is a bit more Republican, but who knows? How would a Charlie Baker type do if he somehow won the nomination? He would get killed. A governor election's not the same as a presidential election, like Bear says. It's not. Like Mitt Romney, he was the governor of Massachusetts. He got murdered in the state. That's what I'm saying. Governor elections do not correlate automatically to victories in the presidency. It doesn't. Is there any hope for our country? Yeah. Win next year. If we win, we have hope. If we don't, we're screwed. That's just the honest truth about it. Next year is our last chance. It doesn't matter if you're who you are. If we lose next year, you know, it's you could kiss the country goodbye. Because that means, okay, they're not just going to stop at Trump. Then they're going to start going after every single one of us for being remotely conservative. You're not Phil Scott. They're going to go after you. It's just the honest truth. I don't want to black pill like some people are, but I'm just being honest. We have one shot at this next year. If Trump doesn't win, we're effed. If he does win, I think we got hope. Let's see. Are there any good candidates for New Mexico races? Harrell in New Mexico 2nd. That's our best candidate right now. And she's running again, so hopefully she wins her seat again. Let's see. Could Romney become the governor of Massachusetts again? No, he cannot. Because, well, he's fully embraced Utah, so. Rap, do you know EDP got... Hold on. Yeah, so I heard about the EDP situation. And what happened was, you know, EDP, if you don't know, he's an Eagles fan. He's a big meme. A couple years ago, yeah, he got exposed for talking to a 13-year-old sexually through messages and stuff. And he got caught again. But this time, YouTube is defending EDP. They're taking down videos that show the footage of the supposed expose of him. I don't know shit, but why is YouTube doing that? I don't freaking know. Duster Carter for 2. Republicans win Senate and House, lose president. 2026 potential. Gain a couple House seats and a couple governorships. That's about it. Yeah, EDP, the memes are good, but that's about it. Man Milk for 5. How much time is left between right now and the point at which where the United States more closely resembles Zimbabwe than the USA we love? 2 years. January 20th, 2025. Either Trump's inaugurated or we are screwed. Just the honest truth. Because if Trump gets in again, which I think he has a shot at doing it, the establishment, they're done. He knows who his enemies are, and he doesn't, listen, he has nothing to lose now. But we got January 20th of 2025. If not, might as well start booking tickets to like Poland or whatever. Hungary, you know, Italy, whatever. Because this is not the same country that we were born into. What do you say? Urinated Tree is pretty based. Yes. If you don't know, he's a hilarious Steelers fan. Go watch him. Really funny videos on sports. Would Trump get DeSantis in the cabinet? Nope. That's not happening. That ship has sailed. This is the last chance for this movement. Yep. This is it. This is like the all-in push. Either we go out on top next year or we go out as like bottom feeders. Truthfully. Our country Republicans could have considered moving to Japan. Yeah. You know, Japan, Hungary, Poland, Italy. Well, not Italy's kind of like, they're kind of cringe right now. But either way, it's like, there's definitely countries to move to. Even Sweden. They're not pissing around up there anymore. Denmark. You know, there's a couple countries where it's like, yeah, they may be a bit left-leaning, but they're not insane. They're not knocking down your door at 2 a.m. for being pro-life. Michigan Nationalist for $2.24. Do you think LTE is a Democrat? Yeah, he's obviously a Democrat. Have you seen Avatar 2? Yes, it's Avatar 1, but instead of blue tree huggers, it's blue water people. That's what it is. That's Avatar 2. They went from tree huggers to blue hippies in the water. Just being honest. So is 2024 like Endgame for us? Yes. Like, even if we win the Senate, if we don't win the presidency, we're screwed. We are absolutely screwed as a country. So yeah, the next 24 months, or not 24, the next 12 months or so, 15, we have to do everything we can to get President Trump elected again. Truthfully, he's our last hope. I don't care if, he said mean tweets or, he's unelectable. He's the only one the establishment truly fears. He's the only one that would go to back in the White House and take down the deep state. It's sad. It is absolutely sad we're to this point. Do you hear what happened to the actor from that 70s show? Yeah, was he like a pedophile or something? That's what happened, right? Duster Carter for 2. If Trump barely lost 2024, would he run in 2028? No. At that point, if he loses, he'd get thrown in jail. Sad, but true. How would you react if Trump wins 350 plus electoral votes? Honestly, don't know. If that happens, well, I don't know. And this is a serious question. You know, we're getting to a point where it's like, what to do after the election next year? Because I don't know. You know, I've been doing this for what? Since 2020? That's going to be 4 years or what? Yeah, basically 4 years of doing this. And it really wonders, like, if Trump wins next year, what? I don't know what to do. I really don't know. And think about it a little bit. Hopefully he does win, but who knows what's going to happen next year. Trump needs a pivot towards a general now. I think he's starting to. Last night in South Dakota, that was an excellent ending to the speech. Focus on the fact that hardworking Americans built this country, but now it's currently being torn apart by radicals. That was good messaging. People that hate this country, that are running it down the toilet. If Trump had won 2020, would Republicans have done worse in 2022? Depends. Depends on the circumstance. Should a wealthy pay more taxes? Well, okay, first one, Republicans, yeah, they would have done worse. They probably would have lost a couple House seats. They wouldn't have got a majority. Should the wealthy pay more taxes? I would say just a flat percent. You know, like, of course, if you make less than like 20,000, you don't pay anything. If you make more than 20,000, make it like 12% or 15%, you know? If he wins, you talk governor races in New Jersey, Virginia, and 25. I don't know. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, you just start to think like, Trump wins. It's like, what to do? I know you got a couple elections, but it's like, we're probably never going to see this essentially 4-year-long campaign again, if we're being honest. The 2024 election started January 1st or January 20th of 2021. I don't think it's going to happen next time around. So, Michigan Nationalists for $2.24. The shooting of, hold on. Of Nadium. Oh, what is that? It's a good anti-war message. The shooting of Nate Yam is good anti-war messaging, huh? Again, if it's something about Avatar, I watched, but I don't really know the story. It's just you watch it for the visuals. There's no story to it. It's just white man bad or capitalism bad. That's essentially what it is. Talk about 2028. Nah, I don't know. Don't know. Okay, the eldest son of Jake Skull. Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm not, again, I don't know the lore enough. I just pretend to pay attention to Avatar. I don't know anything other than blue tree huggers and water. That's Avatar 2. And they blow something up. Except without trees. I feel like the war in Ukraine could be a disaster for Democrats if the front collapses. Oh, absolutely. And for every Republican not named Trump, and that have been vehemently against it since day one. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Hold on, let me just pull this down. But let's be honest. If the Ukrainian war ends in a disaster for Ukraine, which I'm sorry to say that's what's trending towards, that could possibly be one of the biggest foreign policy blunders in our time. They're at a point now, they're mobilizing women. It's like, you start to get to that point, it's like, you sure you only lost 12,000 people? Like they're claiming? You know, they're losing countless lives for no reason. Again, I don't support either side. I don't want war. War should be a last resort, and at this point, this is a pointless war. This should be resolved last April. Yeah, last year, it should have been resolved. But no. Nope. It hasn't. The fact that this war is still going on is pathetic. Absolutely a disaster. Where hundreds of thousands of people are dying for nothing. And our leaders are so worried about one side winning. How about this? Be the peacemakers like the United States has been for centuries and work with both sides on a fair deal to end the killing. Instead, no, we're gonna keep sending billions of dollars so more Ukrainians can die. I don't usually get mad about this, but when innocent people are getting just mass killings is happening in Ukraine, not, not war crimes. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that countless innocent people are getting slaughtered because this garbage war that should have ended last year. Again, I don't care who wins. I just want the killing to stop. I get just mad about this because it's countless hundreds of thousands of people dying. Think about that. Hundreds of thousands of people are dying because our leaders are so freaking stupid that, we need to send billions of more dollars to keep the war going. The war should have ended years ago. Man milk for two. I support Russia because libs hate the Russians. I don't support anybody. They both have their negatives. But that's not our point. Our point should be to promote peace. End the war. I'm on neither side. Never have. Because in my opinion, it's a pointless war. I don't want Putin to win. I don't want anybody to win. I just want the killing to stop. $5 some chief constituent. How would you promote peace between Ukraine and Russia if you were president? I would say to both sides. We'll cut all money towards you off. Completely. Unless we work out a deal where Russia gets some land. In return, Russia and United States start to work together on foreign policy. Start to lessen tensions. Or something. This idea that you can't, end the war? That's ludicrous. Again, Ukraine at this point in time, they're going to give up territory. There's no way they don't at this point. In fact, Russia had a deal, Ukraine and Russia had a deal last year before the British and United States gutted it. Just say, listen, we'll cut aid for both sides off. We are going to start punishing both of you unless you end the war immediately, and we'll work out a deal with both sides. That's how you end it. That's how Trump would end it. The Spence Sports Network for two. If we lose in 2024, will people leave the country? I think so. Duster Carter for two. What the Habsburgs won Spanish War succession? Don't know enough about that subject. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Yeah, we need peace. Again, I'm not a fan of either side. I'm not. Because guess what? I'm a fan of America. And the American interest first. And our interest is no war. We should be making sure people are getting killed for garbage like this. Yeah, I just want peace. I want peace through strength. But also, hey, come together on both sides and say, we'll punish Russia and we'll punish Ukraine unless they end the war now. Stop this slap fight. Who freaking... Listen, it is a war that should have never happened. So I'm hoping that the war ends. Hopefully this killing just stops. Yeah, I'm just, again, I get riled up by that because it's a touchy subject when hundreds of thousands of people are dying. And our leaders want the war to continue. It's like, you call Trump a war criminal and a traitor to the U.S., but you want to send hundreds of billions of dollars to a war that's never ending? It's becoming our Vietnam, our new Vietnam, but somehow a bigger disaster. Yeah, the more we get involved, the more the war escalates. And actually, somebody gave a good point. Let Donbass and Crimea hold elections, but NATO, Ukraine, and Russia have to monitor in the ballot boxes so you don't have any allegations of bullshit. NATO, Ukraine, and Russians, they send representatives and make sure the election's conducted fairly. Let them decide. If Donbass wants to join Russia, go ahead. If they want to stay with Ukraine, let them stay. Just my opinion. I mean, that's a perfect compromise. And then we could start working with Russia, not necessarily like best friends, because I don't think that's possible. But we got to do something to make sure they don't become best friends with China like they currently are. You think China itself's a big threat? What's going to happen with China, Russia, Brazil, the BRICS? What's going to happen when they get closer and closer together? It's a disaster for the United States. I mean, how is it a bad idea to say just let a referendum happen? Just say, hey, Donbass, under the supervision of NATO, Ukraine, and Russia. Let them hold an election. If they want to stay with Ukraine, let them. If they want to join Russia, let them. Michigan Nationals for $2.24. Your opinion about myself and Reps NFC North team. Detroit, Lions looked iffy against the Chiefs, but they got it done. Got to give it to them. How about Ukraine, Russian, Swedish, Swiss observers? Yeah, include NATO. Just say, okay, just say all these countries, they get a representative and they can monitor the election. How's that a bad thing? Or if Russia starts some BS about it being, you know what? Well, if they do, just say you agree to it. It happened. I'll pull out. But it's just like, I'm not sided with anybody. Because in my opinion, this is a war that there's no reason for it to continue. This war should never happen. It should have ended last April. But nope, we have to continue the war because why? Why do we have to continue the war? Can somebody explain to me? What's the point? What's the point of the war continuing when hundreds of thousands of people are dying? I don't like to say, but just like, what's our point? What's our end game? Yeah, and Ukraine gets $25 billion. That's just this month. And Maui residents get $700. Yeah, for their household. That's why people are pissed off at this. Get all troops out before the referendum so Russian Ukrainian troops not from Donbass or Crimea can vote in them. Yeah, just say those. All right, we'll have neutral observers and from Ukrainian, Russian sides and just monitor the election. Just say, Donbass, you get the vote. Crimea, again, I think Crimea is kind of just at this point, just Russian at this point, but hey. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying either side's good or bad. I'm not saying that because it's not our judgment right now to declare that. Our main goal is work out a peace deal. If Biden did that, I would be praising him. Because, hey, you handled it well. But guess what? He hasn't. Was the war in Ukraine Putin's fault or our fault? Our fault because we kind of just let him do it. That's the reality of it. If Trump was in office, would have never happened. It's just sad that we have these many leaders that want to see hundreds of thousands of people dying in the name of democracy. Do a fair one in Crimea so you don't see 96% support for Russia. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, obviously have neutral observers, but it's like, what am I supposed to say? Again, I'm not saying that the Russians are the good guys. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that for anybody. But I'm just saying that, hey, just focus on ending the war and making sure both sides can end it peacefully and make sure this war can never happen again. Not through continuing the war, that's dumb, but trying to work out a deal now. Anyways, folks, if you got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now or forever go in peace. So send them now. It'd be like 80% Russian. I don't know. But I think it's a fair compromise. Just say Donbass region can vote on either being part of Russia or being part of Ukraine. Just seems like common sense to me. But oh no, that's too radical. Yet they love democracy. The Democrats, they love democracy so much that they're against the idea. Spend Sports Network for 2. If we lose 2024, can we recover as a country? I don't think so. Rap, should women be allowed to serve in the military in any capacity? I think they should be allowed to, but I'm not necessarily in support of them being drafted. If they want to volunteer, that's one thing, but being drafted, I don't think so. You know, just my opinion. Hey, Rep, when is Rep going to do live stream again? It's been months. I don't know. Haven't talked to him in a while. You are a LaRouche nationalist. I'm on neither side. I'm the definition of Switzerland that's actually Switzerland. I'm neutral. I see the arguments for both sides and think, okay, just promote peace. Just say, end the war, but let Donbass do a referendum that's monitored by both sides and see what happens. I just don't get why that's seen as some radical thing. I just don't. Rap, what would happen if NATO gave Ukraine nukes? Well, that'd be the dumbest thing you could possibly do. I don't believe in a draft. I don't either, but I'm just saying. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Godspeed to all of you.